Hello! I was watching the Nerdfighter documentary yesterday, and it was good, and it filled me with lots of nostalgia and lots of feelings about Nerdfightaria, and that's great. But it left me asking several questions, but one of the most prominent questions it left me asking was, hey, where are the people of color? You know, I'm sure there are nerdfighters of color. Where are the nerdfighters of color? And I know the Nerdfighter documentary is probably not the best example of race representation in Nerdfightaria, but I think it's still a pretty good example because there were people of color, but they were sort of few and far between. As someone who is nerdy or enthusiastic about things, I've always been aware of the fact that there aren't a whole heck of a lot of people of color participating in these things, and I really have never understood why. In this particular example, I will be speaking from the perspective of a black person, as that's who I am. And I'm going to be saying black people because that's the only, experience I have. I only have the experience of a black person. I don't have the experience of anyone else. This is a disclaimer. If you are of Indian descent and you've had a different experience, tell me about it. I'm legitimately very interested. It's always felt like there was a memo that went out to a lot of black children that said, hey, black kids, don't be into this because it's not the thing that black kids are into, or something, because I go to school functions about the things I was into, like orchestra or reading or writing, and there wouldn't be a lot of black kids there. At that point I was used to it, but it's still weird to me. Like, I don't understand why that was. Because when I was in high school and I'd wear a Harry Potter shirt, I would be made fun of by black kids. Or the teacher was asking questions and I would answer, they would make fun of me for not speaking in the customary regional vernacular associated with people of African descent. They would accuse me of trying to be something I'm not because I was speaking in a certain way or because I was into certain things. They seem to think that there's only one way to be a black person, and that if you're a black person you have to like this stuff and you can't like this stuff. Is that why there aren't a lot of people of color in Nerdfightaria? Is because they've been badgered by people saying, hey, if you're this color you have to be into this, you can't be into this. And I get that education is associated with wealth or a higher class, and that a higher class or wealth is associated with white people. But at this point in history, at this time, I would hope that people would realize that that is not necessarily true, that anybody could educate themselves. They could rise up from whatever situation they're in, unless that's just, I don't know, my middle class privilege showing. That's probably the root of it, that education is associated with wealth and wealth is associated with white people. But since I've been part of Nerdfightaria, I've been to a lot of gatherings. I've been to VidCon, I've been to LeakyCon, toured to Nerdfighting, all that jazz. I've been to a lot of Wizard Rock shows and stuff, and I've, again, the same thing as when I was in high school and I'd go to like an orchestra thing and there would be like a sprinkling of people of color amongst white kids. I'm guessing it is rooted in the idea, like sort of class thing about white people having wealth and being able to access sort of online communities. That just seems so inaccurate. Or maybe I'm thinking if it's something about representation. Like if you watch a lot of Nerdfighter videos on YouTube, you'll see lots and lots of white kids making videos about being a Nerdfighter and being happy about being a Nerdfighter, and that's brilliant. I mean, nothing against white people, obviously. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This is fandom secret here. I started making videos in 2008, okay? I don't remember seeing a whole heck of a lot of people. Is that my Texan showing saying a whole heck? I don't remember seeing a whole heck of a lot of people of color making videos. But that didn't stop me. I made videos anyway, because I wanted to. If you're a person of color who enjoys my content, thanks. That's really awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. First and foremost, I appreciate you. Secondly, do you want to make videos, but you don't feel like you can because you don't see a lot of people of color making videos? Bro, sister, sibling, make videos if you want. If you want to make content, make it. If you don't see people who look like you making videos, maybe you can be the person who looks like you, who other people who look like you will see making videos, and then they'll want to make videos, and then there'll be a whole group of people who look similar to you making videos. Sometimes you have to be the change. Oh no, but it's true. Speaking of representation, I remember the first time I saw a person of color making really spectacular, thought-provoking, funny, informative videos on the internet, it was the best thing. Like, it made my heart so happy. I didn't know, I wasn't aware of how much I needed to see a person of color making really good videos on the internet until I did, and it was the best thing in the world. So if you are a person of color and you want to make videos because you might be the person who makes some other person of color feel super spectacular and represented and included in a community. You know spectacular people of color making spectacular content? Tell me in the comments and I will check them out. If you're a spectacular person on the internet who is also a person of color, thank you for being awesome. And if you're a white person who watched this video, congratulations, I guess. I don't know. Thanks for not being racist, if you're not. I can only speak from my own experience, the experience of a black person, because that's what my parents did when I came out of my mom. She was like, oh. The doctor said, it's a black child. And my mom was like, just what I wanted.